Greetings and salutations, my name is Orcult. Had to do my hair. Career? Who has a career? I mean, who actually, like, how many women actually end up, or men for that matter, end up having this sensational career? Elon Musk? Elon Musk has a career. The rest of us, I don't know, compared to Elon Musk, what do we really have? Nothing. Nothing. It's just, you can't earn all the money in the world. Greetings and salutations, my name is Orcult, and welcome to my sanctuary. To those of you new here, you're very, very welcome. I hope you like it here. Stick around. Watch all my playlists backwards. And for those of you who are returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support. And for those of you who are returning but not yet subscribed, please do consider subscribing. I really like watching the subscriber count go up. I know it's very sad, but you know, I have a hard life, and sometimes it's nice to see, you know, these things brighten your day. So please do subscribe, I will be super happy. Now the other day I had a little poll, and actually let's look at the results of the poll to see what videos would people be interested in terms of a chatty one. So the options were self-esteem from teens till now, and 25% voted for that one. Managing as alternative people with normal jobs, 31% voted for that one. But the absolute winner, and this totally surprised me, was the lifestyle changes as parents and how we stay sane and alternative, which got a whopping 44% out of 16 votes. So that is our overall winner, so that's the one we are doing today. So, Parenthood and being alternative. Now, let me put it this way. I've been going to, I guess, more sort of normality. Not in the sense that I was super alternative and then I went super normal or anything, but I had a very bizarre kind of lifestyle. I never really had a relationship, and I sort of, you know, was the party person. I smoked and I did lots of drinking and partying and, you know, going to gigs and things like that. And at some point I even like stopped going to gigs because, you know, why? I was always alone there, nobody really shared my interests, and I stopped dressing alternative for a period of time, and I wasn't really happy like that, I guess, like at all. I wasn't happy. So my progression towards parenthood, I guess, was more a progression towards being an adult, but not, you know, totally normal, I guess. And I've actually become more alternative in lifestyle, I think, as a parent than I was before, if that makes any sense. Because before I just had like bad habits. I wasn't really alternative, I just had a chaotic lifestyle. But as a parent, I've realized that to give your children anything, okay, you need to be, I guess, happy and yourself to be able to transfer that to your children. By that I mean, you don't really want them to be exactly like you, which is a struggle sometimes, but I guess I don't want to live with a bunch of people exactly like me. I'm hard to live with. I'm very stubborn. I'm obsessive. If I get something into my head, it's very hard to get it out of there. My light just died. 2 seconds. I can be very overpowering. I'm hard to holiday with because I have all these ideas. You will get a proper tour, but you won't really rest a lot. I'm not easy, okay? So I don't really want to bring up people like me. But what I want is people who are themselves, who are authentic, who are happy, and who ultimately have this integrity and are honest. Now, that's a struggle in itself, because kids sometimes don't really know good from bad. They don't know that lying is bad, for example. They've seen someone else do it and think, that kind of works, you know, and then they give it a go. And sometimes you catch them and sometimes you don't. And they try all these different things, which is quite a challenge. So, to go through life is hard enough, but when you're also trying to pretend to be someone you're not, and trying to do all of this, what do you think you're gonna end up with as you know, what the kind of people are your children going to be. Like, and I realized that I can't, you know, hide that part, really, and I don't want to. Also, this is Russia, right? And there are other parents and things like that. No, I don't, like, go out like this all the time, because, well, frankly, I don't have time anyway. But I've given up on having normal clothes, really. Most of my clothes are black. If I go to the office, I have some sort of element, like a skull on me somewhere. There's definitely something that will be alternative. I go to the school, I have a beanie that says Beast Wars on it, I have, you know, combat boots and things like that. Yeah, I might not be in full regalia, but I do not look like your average person pretty much ever these days. I might be dressed more, you know, down, and just have everything black or whatever, but I've just given up on having clothes. Like, I used to have clothes that are brown. Who the hell does that ever work for, unless you're like Saikara or someone who's like doing this goth, witchy, forest witch sort of thing. Like, it doesn't work for anyone. Like, really, I freaking hate those colors, and like beige. Ugh. I mean, I watch a few channels that are like just classical fashion, and I kind of admire their consistency, but I don't want a freaking beige Burberry trench. I just don't. Like, what the hell am I gonna wear it with? Nothing. It just doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't appeal to me, that whole, oh, I'm gonna wear a beret and like a stripy top and red lipstick and, you know, oh, I'm in Paris. I don't like it. It's boring, it's not original, yeah, it's classic, and it works for people and stuff, and if you don't know what else to wear and you like that, cool, just do you. But as a general guidance, like, for everyone, it doesn't work. I find it super boring. How can you not, like, have moths everywhere? I love moths. I don't know, I just like them. When I was pregnant and then I had a kid, our first one, I started watching YouTube because I had like a year off work. I've never had more than 2 months off work. And I found YouTube and I found makeup and then I found all these goth channels and that was it. I was like, why have I stopped dressing like me? Why have I just dropped all of that and then I gained all that weight as well after children? I was like, at some point, 100 kilos. 100. Like, even 103 after our second child. And already after the first child, I started going, but I had like Killstar stuff, but it was like 3XL. I still have 1 or 2 items that are still like that because I can't sell them because they're like Rob Zombie stuff and I love them, but they're huge on me now. I still have some weight loss to go. I was more concerned that, you know, I didn't like the way I looked and that I didn't want to go to school looking like that. It was more, to me, the weight was my kind of, like, I always hated how much I weigh, always, and I just didn't look good, especially at that weight. That was just ridiculous, like, how much I've gained, and yeah, you can blame, you know, pregnancy for that, but come on, you really don't need to gain that much weight in pregnancy. It's just a myth, okay? Like, it's just being lazy, and I was lazy, so I gained it, and then I had to drop it, and it took me ages. I'm still not at my goal weight, but I look a hell of a lot better now. Like, I like the way I look, and I knew I would not start a channel, and I wanted to start a channel with that weight. Like, I couldn't. Like, I love watching, by the way, plus size hauls and everything, and seeing how much stuff is out there for people, but to me, personally, I found the way I look, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it, and I just didn't want to go there, and I kind of, thank God, managed to get out of there. It wasn't easy. It was, well, barely eating, really, but, you know, I was so determined, and, you know, I think I still have eating disorders, probably. I've always had them. But I just snack a lot. I don't understand meal times. What is that? But I try, okay? I really try. It's a daily struggle, but for some people it is. Some people struggle with other things now that I don't have the drinking, I don't have the smoking, I just have that, and I need to learn to live with it, and I do. So that's just, you know, not complaining about it, it's just the way it is, and it's something I need to deal with. So to me that was like a thing that I needed to change. In terms of being more alternative, so when I met my husband, I started going back to music and gigs and things like that, and I already kind of started dressing more rock and roll, but it wasn't very like dark, but I've always liked it. I've done it way back in the 90s. I was like always in black with like, you know, everything, and I really enjoyed it, and it was my thing, and it's still my thing now. I like the dark fashion, I've always liked it, it's just how I feel and how I express myself, and I just feel comfortable in it, and it's okay to do makeup for God knows how much. I've tried, like, I really have tried graphic liner. If you're far away, it probably works. Up close, terrifying. But hey, I've seen people do worse, so screw it. And, this is just, you know, me, and I want my children to know me the way I am, so we still, you know, dress alternative. The man only has like rock t-shirts, and I have all sorts of like Killstar things and bags, and like I said, I don't even have really normal clothes that much anymore, and we try and introduce them gently to certain things. Like in music, they like some metal things these days, but they listen to god-awful crap. They listen to Imagine Dragons sometimes because it was on Paw Patrol. I hate that song, but you know, this is what they like, and they can listen to that, and that's fine, because they're them, and I'm me. But the point is, I guess, is that when we met with my husband, we started going to gigs together, and that was a first for me because I never really had anyone to go to gigs with. So as we got our first child, super quick into our relationship, we kind of never really stopped going to gigs, I guess, because we always, you know, we had grandparents and things like that and babysitters, and we generally, if we went anywhere, it was pretty much exclusively to gigs. And also, the way I've been brought up, I can go to classical stuff as well, and my mother is, like, amazing. She has this unbelievable cultural knowledge of the classics and arts, and that's because she was brought up that way, and literature and everything. And I tend to take kids to those things as well, because that's what was done for me. And to be fair, I always hated it. I've always hated it until I started being alone without my parents, even in the same city, and I just started going, like, to operas, to exhibits, because I realized that I didn't appreciate what she's given me, you know? And I want to do the same for the children. And although they don't like it, and they run away in museums, and they think everything is boring, but we went to the Moscow Conservatory, which is like a hell of a place, really, for a Christmas thing for kids. And, you know, it was good. Like, they enjoyed it. It was tailored to a good age and everything, and it was great, you know? And I think with raw gigs, though, I think because of the more adult environment with people drinking and, you know, the safety of, you know, moshing and things like that, we haven't taken them to any of that yet. Well, we will, and we're planning to go to Epic Shore, which is this amazing historical music festival. I'll link the series up here that I've done if you want to check that out. So good, but it's like an open air, in a tent, like in the middle of nowhere, the most beautiful place on earth, really, just by the Volga River, which is our like biggest and one of our most renowned rivers. We want to take at least one of them, probably the older one, although he behaves the worst. But anyway, since he's pretty much old enough, like he's 8, we think we might take him to participate in that. So I fully intend to, you know, pass some of this stuff to my children. Whether they like it or not, they'll decide at some point, but from my upbringing experience, I hung on to the rock rebellious part that I also got from my mom, by the way. I just took it to a different level, I guess, but I think anything you put in may or may not kick in at some point. Don't bet that it will, but it, you know, it might. Like with me, that's what happened. At some point, I realized I like classical music, I appreciate arts, and I want to take my kids to these things too. Now, in terms of, I guess, dressing and everything, we don't force anything on the children. Like, we buy them stuff with skulls, we buy them stuff without skulls, we buy them you know, anything that's on sale, because they grow so fast, it turns into, firstly, they turn everything into God knows what. It's all stained and yucky. And I think they'll have more of a fashion sense when they're a bit older, although now we take them clothes shopping and things like that, and, you know, whatever is really available at the time, and they try it on, they say, yep, that's fine, and they pick it out themselves and things, and but, like, they don't really have a general style or preference at the moment, apart from, I think the younger one prefers red, and he has, like, some yellow things because, you know, Transformers, and the older one likes blue because, you know, Police and Paw Patrol and things like that. But in general, I don't think they have very strong preferences, but we don't want to dress them entirely in black. Like, that's never been our goal. We just want them to figure out what it is the hell they like. And yeah, so to me, I guess the most important thing is that we're happy and they're happy, and people are free enough to make their own choices, but also know who the hell their parents are, you know, and don't have any illusions about that, and know that, you know, we're also human and have our limitations. I guess that kind of doesn't come in at an early age, but at when you get older and you get to your parents' age when they've had you, kind of thing, and you're like, oh my god, they were near enough children themselves, because we still remain children, I guess, throughout our lives. We just grow more experienced, but I think if you sort of really look at it, I don't think the soul ages that much, and you sometimes remember things from early childhood and how you felt, and you still feel like that, you know? It's just one of those things that never really goes anywhere, and when you realize what it was like for your parents when you become a parent, that really changes your perspective on things, and you realize, holy shit, you know, that they've done the best they could with what they had, and sometimes they've even excelled and did it better than you would have expected. And then you really learn to appreciate parenthood and what your parents have done for you. And I think that's something important to remember when bringing up children, is that they don't know all that yet, you know? They only know that, you know, you're this authority and la 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 la. And what you're doing is you're laying a foundation to the future of what they're gonna be like when they actually, you know, mature and grow potentially into adults. And the most important thing there is, again, to be happy, true to yourself, and give them, you know, what you want to give them, really. They're your children. You don't have to give them something you don't want to. Like, you don't. No matter what anyone tells you, if people tell you, no, you shouldn't tell... Look, they're your kids. You bring them up as you want. And then you'll find out later in life whether they'll thank you or not. That is the true question, really. What the hell will they grow up like? You don't know. You just don't. You can just do the best you can and try and stay sane. And if trying to stay sane means you have to go to gigs and dress in black, just do that. That's all I have to really say, I guess, on the subject, is that if you're an unhappy person, if you're in hiding, if you don't know who you are, it's infinitely harder to bring up someone who will be authentic and has, well, and will have integrity and realize that, you know, they have to be true to themselves. And I guess that's sort of my overall message. And as for staying sane ourselves, again, fuck, light again. I'm sorry about the light change. They all keep dying because I keep rambling, and this is the third video I'm doing. So the light changed, it looks bad, but it's a talky video, so you don't really have to look at much. So I'm just gonna quickly finish this one up. And again, so stay sane by being true to yourself is my main message. Go to gigs. Make sure your children are looked after during the time by responsible people. You do need time away from them. They will drive you crazy, especially if you have two boys. Absolute madness. So, you know, you do need your own time sometimes, and you do need to rest, you need to sleep, you need to eat properly, you need to be yourself, you need to be true to yourself, and, you know, you give them what you want to give them, and hopefully, no guarantees though, but they'll grow up, you know, decent, and remember what you've given them. So that's really all I can tell you about it, but that's kind of how we do it, and I sincerely hope, you know, you will succeed in this journey. And it is a long journey, but, you know, some people tell me they're afraid to have children, And all I can say is everyone's afraid to have children. A lot of us didn't even plan to have children. I never planned to have children. However, for me, it was more like I never had a relationship, really, like a proper one, until my husband. So there was no one to have children with anyway. And I kind of had this outlook, well, I'm still this old, so I can technically still have them, so it's fine, so I never thought about it. But when you're approaching an age, and there is an age, like, we can all ignore it all we want, but there's an age. Like, for women, there's an age. We're not Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger can have kids at 90, he just needs a younger woman, and off he goes. Women can't do that. Like, I'm sorry if it upsets anyone, but it's fact. Like, it's absolute fact, it's a biological fact that you can't argue against. Now, unfortunately, the door will start closing, and I guess the question is, do you want that door to close without trying something in life that is infinitely hard, potentially rewarding, and very challenging? Probably a challenge that you haven't quite even imagined, but you're fully equipped for. Like, I assure you, you will find the money, you will find the support, you will find everything you need, as long as you don't, just close that door and never go there. It is challenging, but frankly, it's life, and it's what we were kind of meant to do. Again, you can, talk about religion, and no, that's not what we were meant to do. We meant to have what? What were we meant to have? A career? Who has a career? I mean, who actually, like, how many women actually end up, or men for that matter, end up having this sensational career? Elon Musk has a career. The rest of us, I don't know, compared to Elon Musk, what do we really have? Nothing. Nothing. It's just, you can't earn all the money in the world. You can't buy all the cars in the world. You can't, I mean, maybe you can, but will that car be as rewarding as, the journey of parenthood, despite how hard it may be? But also, the other good thing about parenthood is all your other problems that you thought were problems that you've had in the past are laughable to you at some point. You think, wow, I used to stress over that? Oh my god. You will get a whole new perspective on what a problem is with children. Like, you will get, if you survive the day without, in our case in particular, I'm not saying all children are like ours, but our children. Like, if you had a day, no one is sick, there wasn't an ambulance, there was no police involved in any way. Kinda joking about the police, but it's been a good day. And you learn to be grateful for things. And sometimes, you've had a shitty day and they've been annoying, but then you look at them sleep and they're so adorable. So adorable. And it all just goes away. I don't know how. I think they're equipped to be that adorable just for that purpose. But it will give you a new level of understanding life in a way that you don't quite anticipate. I can't explain it, but that's just kind of what happens. So if you're ever on the fence about it, just fucking do it. Just do it. We didn't plan the first one, and I said, look, I don't know about you, but I'm this old and I'm doing it. So either you're on board with this or not, because we weren't like together for very long, and and we've been together ever since, and then we decided that we need a second one, and that was a brave thing to do. Very brave. And I still, although I'm quite old now, I still sometimes think, what would it be like if we had a girl? Like, if we had an additional girl to all of this, and maybe a corgi. I want a corgi, they're so cute. But anyway, that's kind of my take on parenthood and everything. So I'll I'll stop rambling now. I hope you had a pleasant time of day wherever you are. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know your thoughts of any of this down below. If you have any, do you have children? Do you want children? Did you decide not to have children for some reason? And we can discuss. And greetings and salutations to you.